All right, here's the deal. Just got the ReMarkable Paper Pure in. I got so excited when they announced it because I felt like, well, one, I was excited for a new ReMarkable product, but two, I loved this case. I loved that it was only black and white. It's kind of like the updated version of the ReMarkable 2 in a lot of ways, I think. But I think it takes all of the aspects from the ReMarkable Paper Pro and cuts out all the things that I didn't like. Or like, not that I didn't like, the things that I didn't want, the things I didn't need. And so, spoiler alert, this has been my favorite ReMarkable product of all time. I think this is perfect for me. And the amount of joy I've gotten from using this has been incredible. So let's just open it up and see what we got. I want to talk about the case first because this is a super unique case in a lot of ways. And the ways I thought I was not going to like it, I love it. So let me explain. The first thing you'll notice if you grab one is the texture here. There is like squishy padding all the way around. Like this is a protective case. It's not a cover, it's a case. And like it's squishy, you have a flat back here, we'll get to that in a second. And you have these squishy parts, minimal ReMarkable branding, which I love. And the color isn't my favorite, but I do love a good green, and this sort of sage color is nice. I think the dark blue looks really nice. I'm not a huge fan of dark blue, just period in aesthetic purposes, because I like black a lot. And so sometimes black and blue can get sort of mixed up. I think, you know, looking back at like the MacBook with the midnight color, it was like, that's blue, but it looks black, and I didn't love that. So anyway, I love a good pop of green color. The first thing is an interesting way that they've sort of made this magnetic cover, which I think looks awesome. And you'll also notice you have a two-tone green, which looks really cool, especially when it pops through like that, and you can see that. So this feels really nice. There's so much here, little touches that I love because I love products that marry form and function, as you know, and this one, you know, ReMarkable is just a company that does that. The first thing is when you pull it out of the case, it turns on, which I don't know, I guess with magnets somewhere in the case. When you pull it out of the case, it turns on. When you push it into the case, it locks the screen. When I lock the ReMarkable device, you can see that my information is here, my name and my email address. So if you find this, you know how to get it back to me. And it's here on the bottom, set up here. But watch what happens if I slide it into the case. It puts my information there. So when you open it, say you don't even know what ReMarkable is, you're like, what is this? You figure out how to open it, it's a little weird. But then you can see right there, without even pulling out the device, my contact information. What an interesting and thoughtful touch. Fantastic. Let's talk about the case a little bit more. First of all, I love the magnets, as I've already said. Here's another thing. Have you ever had a lap board before? I don't love lap boards because they're like big and I don't do a ton of work on my lap with like a laptop. And if I have it, it's just my laptop on my lap. I don't use lap boards. It's different for writing. I think a lot of times when you have a notebook or something, you kind of wish you had a writing surface. This acts as a lap board. You have this flat back here. So when I pull this out, I pull the device out, got it in my hands, I flip it this way, and now I have this lap board that in lap board fashion is squishy on the bottom, so it feels nice on your lap. And then you have this extra space. And one reason I really love the idea is when you get down here to the bottom and your hand's off the edge when you're writing, being able to push that up and still have a surface to write is awesome. I love this way more than I thought I would. I love this magnetic opening. Magnets are the best, as we all know. I love that it slides in. I love the protection that you get here. And then I love the lapboard aspect. And I do love a lighter green, not all the time, but I've come to love this color as well. Fantastic. Just designed beautifully, feels amazing, premium stitching, beautiful. Like it's just, anyway, there's that. I love that. Let's talk about some other things before we get into like the device itself. You know, I've used the paper, I've used the Marker Plus a lot before, but check this out. And I don't know if this is the same on other ReMarkable tablets. I just might not be remembering, but watch this. Boop, unlocked, ready to be written on. That is awesome. I love that you can unlock the device by pulling the pen off. That's little touch, love it. Let's talk about the actual device itself. So this is the Marker Plus. This has been around for a while, nothing new here. First of all, plastic, not metal, still premium feeling. As you can see, I don't love all the fingerprints that get on it. I think that's strange, but you have a nice texture here that feels like paper. You have that same design language of a stack of papers that they introduced with the Paper Pro, and they brought to the Move, and now it's here on the Pure. It's got this, you know, just interesting design choice to create little ripples here that are supposed to mimic a stack of paper. Love that design feature. You've got your single sort of on-off wake lock switch, I guess, USB-C charging, and then you have a flat surface here along that sort of paper design so that the pen can sit and charge, and it will show you a little battery percentage of the pen when it's unlocked to show you how charged up the pen is. There it is right there. Super strong magnets. That's also just like kind of a fidgety thing that probably would annoy everyone around you, but it's just really strong magnets, which is great. And I love that the case, you know, going back to the case for a minute here, it makes room for the pen, so it all fits nicely. That's what I want to bring up. Before we get into the device anymore, this package here, the case, the Marker Plus, and the tablet is, I think, $450, which is really not bad. I mean, for everything you get here. And let's move into that, because I think this is kind of what I meant. I have never been this excited to journal on a tablet before, maybe ever. I've tested out every ReMarkable product at this point. The 2, the Pro, the Move, and now this. I think that's all of them. I guess I didn't have like the OG, which was, I guess, the 1. As you know, there's not a lot you can do on a ReMarkable. You can write, you can draw, you can access PDF files, but there's no Kindle on here. It's really a super hyper focused, well done writing, note taking, document markup, and reading tool, period. You can do things like this and kind of screen share to a computer if you want to. I mean, you can get books on here if you wanted to, like in PDF format, and maybe it does EPUB, I'm not sure, but really it's just for writing, drawing, and that's it. I think that the Paper Pro with the colors and the Move with the colors, super cool. And I love the color palette. It's like this sort of dulled down color palette because it's e-ink, right? And that's really neat, but like I don't highlight a ton. I don't mark up a ton. So for me, I just need black and white. And so that's here. So I'm saving on the Markable Paper Pro by cutting out color. I'm saving out by cutting out metal body design. I don't love this huge border here on the design. I like how the Pro actually puts that sort of at the bottom. I kind of like that a bit better, but I don't mind it. You know, if they have to fit in computing over here or whatever for this design, it also throws back to the ReMarkable 2 by having this sort of layout, which I also kind of like that nod in a way, whether it's intentional or not. Like if you come in here, first of all, my wife and I are watching some Stanley Tucci shows, his like Discovering Italy or whatever he's got out, and I decided like let me try out some, you know, drawing on the paper tablet. I'm pretty proud of this one, Stanley Tucci. I like him. I like his cooking shows. We've really been enjoying those. My wife is, you know, her family's from Italy, so I really enjoyed drawing on, you know, this thing. And there's just a lot you can do with the drawing tools here. There's a lot you can do with like hardness and leaning of the pencil and things like that. And there's just I don't know, it's definitely an interesting experience, and I could see myself doing this kind of thing more often while I'm sitting on the couch with my wife, just kind of drawing what I see or pulling up a picture and drawing what I see. So drawing on this thing is great. It doesn't have the sharpest display ever. I don't know if it's 300 or if it's a little less than 300 TPI, DPI, whatever they call it in the e-ink world, but it's plenty, it's enough. And like I said, I've been enjoying journaling more than anything on this device, which I will say when I first got it, it takes a beat to get used to drawing. It's still not pen on paper, it's just not. And as much as they're trying to replicate that, it's just not. And when you finally sort of say like, okay, it's not going to be that, and you start to learn how to draw on this device, there's still a sort of a bit of separation between the tip and what's actually being drawn. It's teeny. And I think most people wouldn't be this obsessed with like the experience of using the device. Like, can I draw on it? Yes. Can I write on it? Yes. Great. Good enough for me. Latency is really low, which is also another big one. So the experience is different than pen and paper, period. It's not pen and paper. But once you get used to how you draw and how you write on this, It's fantastic. And I have just been taking notes and notes that are in my head, and just every night sitting on the couch and pouring out onto here, drawing little sketches when I want to. And I think it's been just huge. It's been so much fun. Such a great way to relax after a long day, especially with all the business thoughts that roll around in my head all day, getting them down on paper. This has, if you've been following along with the channel, I've been doing the field notes videos where I write down all my thoughts in my field notes in my wallet. This has replaced that for the time being. I'm just dumping out all my thoughts into this format, and I really love it. I think personally, in my opinion, this is the best ReMarkable device out there right now. It just is. Better than the Paper Pro, better than the Move. For me personally, I don't need color. I don't need, having it be ReMarkable is fantastic, and I think it's enough for most people. So if you want that entry level, I think they're still selling the ReMarkable 2. I could be wrong now that this is out, but this is it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just excited to continue using it. I'm excited to see when that honeymoon phase ends. I've had it like since it was announced. I ordered it. Man, I just love that. I just love the little design features, and it's just a great device. So this is going to be a first impressions video, and maybe it still is, but I don't know, I kind of reviewed it fully. So if you want to pick one up, there's a link in the description. I didn't work with ReMarkable on this video. I just bought it with my own money, but I do have an affiliate link with them. So if you pick one up, use my link and we'll get a little kickback here on the channel, and I'll love you forever. Thanks so much for watching. On this channel, if you're new here, we talk about products that marry form and function. We like products that improve our lives and look good while doing so. So if that sounds cool to you, please consider subscribing, like this video for more, hype it up if you would. And I also want to start to announce something. Our newsletter is going to be turned into a quarterly print magazine where we interview founders of companies like ReMarkable. We haven't interviewed them yet, but companies like them, and it's going to be bundled up really nicely. I've got a great editor-in-chief on board. I've got a great art director on board. So we're going to be probably starting to talk about that more and more. We're hoping for a sort of mid-July release for our first issue. So if that sounds cool to you, there will be a link down in the description just to sign up for our newsletter, and that will be the first place we sort of announce it when it goes live. So feel free to subscribe there and start reading founder stories already digitally, and then once the publication goes live, you'll be the first to hear about it. So anyway, little caveat there, but thanks so much for watching ReMarkable Paper Pure. I guess watch this video next. I think you'll love it, and we'll see you all in the next one.